Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Hey, Lynn.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
Waiting for someone. Alvina,
Hey,
hello. How are you?
you.
Look
Hi, everyone.
amazing.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Special shout out to my daughter who's a technology whiz. She did all of this. I want y'all to know who she is. Look at my baby. She not dressed, but she did everything. Thank you. Hi, Alexis. Hi, Lynn. Thank you.
Hey. Thank
Hi.
you.
So I think we're waiting for Sondra and Carolyn and Ashley Sharpton to sign on, and then
Okay.
we'll
Hi,
start.
Alexis. This is Sondra. I'm actually on, but I joined a few minutes ago, and
Okay.
so my video is turned off by the host, it says.
Okay. So host, you got to
Okay,
turn her.
so now,
All right, we just asked you to share, so that should be good.
okay, yep.
Yeah, and look beautiful. My co-moderator. How
Hello.
are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
I'm ready. I had to put my glasses on since I need to read the questions in the chat.
Okay,
All
great.
good. And I think we're just waiting for Ashley Sharpton.
Right. And by the way, you guys look amazing. And thank you so much for signing on with us. I don't even know how we go behind such amazing women like Ms. Roundtree and Alexandra earlier and Jennifer. I mean, the panels was amazing.
Thank
These
you.
women were dynamic. Ms. Baraka, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You guys are super. I mean, I'm excited to be a part of such a group of women who are just phenomenal. And you guys really rock. So let's see what's going on with Ashley.
Okay.
Mm. So we're gonna start on time. I guess maybe she could come in like it's 2:35. I like the. Let's see. I think she was on. I think Action had a meeting at 2, right, Alvina? Weren't they on dealing with some stuff with something that has happened in our community? So I don't know if she's actually
I'm
off
not
yet.
sure, but I could give her a phone call. I don't mind doing that.
Can you
That'd be
please?
great. And then Alexis and Sandra, let's just kick it off. We have so many eager attendees
Absolutely.
Right.
to the discussion. I think it's worth us just starting, and hopefully she'll be able to join us in a few minutes.
Okay. So I want to first start off by saying thank you guys. You are all powerhouses in your own ways. And you all have some really good points to bring to this networking phase, building and protecting your online presence. I want to start off with a couple of questions. But first, I want to introduce Alvina Austin. She is a PR person. She's really dope, more media. I also want to introduce Lynn Hobson, who is a dynamic PR person as well. She does hip hop. She's a hip hop mogul, actually. She does a lot with a lot of great people throughout the country. She's, matter of fact, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves because you can do it better. But I want to first thank you because to have you on board is just phenomenal. So let's start off with Lynn Hobson. Just give us a little bit of who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, my name is Lynn Hobson. In hip hop, I go by the name of Money Lynn. And I am a publicist for over 25 years. I'm a professor at Delaware State University. I teach public relations. And I am an author. I have an inspiration book out called Diary of a Hip Hop Publicist. And that's it.
Great. Sandra, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Thank you for having me. I am Sondra Denise Roberts. I serve as the Director of Communications for the City of Newark and Mayor Raz J. Baraka. A little bit about me prior to that is I have over 20 years of experience in communications, events, and public relations. I came from founding my own PR firm and working in corporate America, the entertainment industry, and you name it. And I'm also a published author. Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Alvina, would you like to go on next?
Yes, thank you. I just want to thank you, Alexis Trustee and the City of Newark, Honorable Raz Baraka, for having me here. I don't miss this every year. I am a publicist and branding expert for over a decade with more than 25 years experience in communications, having worked at more than 13 networks as a producer, reporter, covering crimes in Newark and New York and New Jersey for many years, helped to launch Fox Business Channel, worked at ABC, CBS, several of the News 12 networks. And I'm just honored to be here today. And I'm really blessed to be along on the panel with such esteemed women and yourself, Alexis. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I believe we do have Ashley Sharpton online. Okay. So let's go into the first question. My question to you guys is, we know what it looks like when video goes viral, and we also know some ways to build followings by using paid services. But what advice would you give to people who are trying to grow their following? So you have people who want to open up a business online, and during this time especially, what would you say, or what expertise would you offer to them when they start an online business? Let's start with Lynn.
Okay. What advice would I give someone who wants to start an online business? Well, you said besides paid advertising, I definitely still would do paid promotions on Facebook, going into Instagram. That's very important. That is a quick, surefire way to grow organic followers. Another way that you can go about doing that is to barter. If you know someone who might be interested in posting your stuff, and he or she can post your stuff, then that's another way to get followers too. So bartering is very important during this time as well.
Okay.
Bartering for promotion.
Mm-hmm. Bartering for promotions.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think the best way, we live in an age when I was coming up, we did not have the expertise of social media. What you should do is what a lot of people call me, and they want publicity and branding, and they don't have a PR budget. Social media is the number one key way where you could brand yourself. And in fact, so many people have branded themselves on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and have gotten record deals, book deals, TV deals just because of their social media. Cardi B is one, and I can name so many others, professionals that have launched their careers from social media. So what that means is that you are a brand. You have to realize that you are a brand. So you're putting yourself and your services and your products on social media. And I would advise to be, as professional as always, because once you do put something on social media, it lives virally forever. So that's what these young people don't know, and people starting out, is that your first impressions now are lasting a lifetime because of social media. So what it is, you can put your branding on Instagram, your product of your service, and you also have access to contact people who are doing exactly what you're doing. You could reach out to them through DMs and saying, you know what, I would love to do this. I would love to walk in your footsteps. How can we meet? Never being afraid to reach out to people who are doing exactly what you want to do. So social media is a key way of doing that. And people have built tremendous brands with social media.
So Sondra, can I ask you a question as a co-moderator? What do you have as any suggestions on that question? Could you chime in a little bit?
I echo their sentiments, and I would, what Alvina said, is to hone in on that is, be careful of whatever you put out there, it lives forever. My mother used to say, whatever you write, be prepared for the whole world to see it. And that was before social media. So young ladies now, it's a whole different world. So, you have to be careful, because yes, you can delete things, but best believe someone already did a screenshot before you did so.
So when you talk about that with young ladies, so that's a good question on what I'm going to ask you. How do you separate your personal brand from your business brand? So when you talk about that, and young ladies, and they're out there, and they look at other people out there in there, they have this social media platform. You mentioned Cardi B, right? I love Cardi B, and I think what she's doing is great. But how do you separate that kind of instance from a professional? I mean, she did go professional, right? But how do you brand yourself in a different light. Like, everyone may not get that opportunity that she had. So, you know, and I'm walking lightly on that. She got the opportunity, it came at that moment, but professionally in a different setting. How do you speak to someone on a different level than that kind of atmosphere? Do you not?
Who wants to
Y'all
say it for me?
understand it?
Oh, I didn't know that was for me. So honestly, you are your brand in this day and age. So you have to post things that you're comfortable with everybody seeing, and if you're not, then make your pages private and choose who your audience is. But if a lot of times we want to have a public page, then we have to post things that we want to be seen by the world. So that's my advice. If you want to keep it separate, then you have to keep your pages private.
Private. Okay. So what are some of the pros and cons of doing that?
If you're trying to grow a brand, then you have to work even harder to do that, to keep it separate. Or if you actually have a product, then you create separate pages for your product and you promote your products, and you're the face behind the product, but you can keep things separately that way as well.
Okay. Lynn, let me ask you a question in that instance. You deal with different people from the hip hop aspect to the CEO at a board, dealing with, maybe like more like all right. So you have one of our panelists just walked in. So you have people, I guess, how do you separate the media from, I guess, the CEO? Like I'm trying to figure out how to word it. So you on mute. Could you unmute her, please?
I unmuted.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you understand where I'm going with the question? How do you separate an artist from someone maybe in politics? How do you separate that?
I would personally, when it comes to personal and your professional, I encourage my clients to mirror their brand. So if this is what you're marketing and this is what you're about publicly, then you need to be about that life personally. You understand? Because if you don't do that, that's when slip-ups come about. So I encourage them, if you listen, if you want to be in the media's eye, in the public's eye, then be true to yourself, be true to you, and be that person on and off camera. That way you won't ever get caught slipping. Just be the same person 24/7, and then you won't wake up in the morning with unexpected news about you.
Okay, so as we go into the COVID-19 and how it affected all of us in different ways, can you talk about how it impacts your business and how you think about ways to leverage your online presence during this time?
For Lynn, me?
Just in general.
Okay. So for my business, professionally, when everything was shut down, my business was tremendously impacted. Everything came to a halt. None of my clients sent any of their payments in for the month of April. And then people were just kind of scared, holding on to their money, just trying to regroup. Like, should I pay this publicist or should I pay my rent? You know what I mean? Or my mortgage. I totally get it and I totally understand it. So while those clients were regrouping, new clients were coming on board. And it was more so because new clients are saying, hey, I'm trapped in the house, I'm working from home, but I have time to invest in, my side hustle or my side business. So then I then began to get an influx of business from those people. So the pandemic has pretty much balanced out the business, my business. You know what I mean?
Okay. What about you, Alvina?
Well, I've been blessed. Fortunately, I've been able to put people on TV still and still grow my company only by the grace of God. I take no credit. Whereas I would walk into the TV stations or the radio stations with the clients. Now the clients have the access to do them virally. We have all become more tech savvy with Zoom, which we are on, and other applications. So this is going to be our new normal. The experts are predicting this will last for about a year and a half, so that if you do want to remain viable, this is the best time to get in the game and learn. As you can see, my daughter, who's 24, has really been my right hand in keeping me afloat as far as all of the latest technologies that are keeping me afloat. So with this COVID situation right now, God is forcing us to use and tap into the power of us and what we have to get things done. And we are all seeing our resourcefulness in doing so. So by the grace of God, I'm still able to pitch. I have to change some of the topics, where my clients would normally speak on. Even my athletes, my CEOs have to weigh in on how COVID has affected their lives. So I just have to be creative, tap into what I have for, just to keep, to make ends meet. Like I'm sure my panelists can agree on, we all just have to be resourceful, stay in prayer, tap into whatever resources that we have, lean on people that are in our profession for help. I've been doing that a lot too, reaching out to my colleagues, people that are in the industry. Hey, just asking for tips, and they've been also weighing in with me as well.
To add to that question, do you feel like you would have stretched yourself this much had COVID not come about? Like, would you have gotten to the point with your business and being that resourceful had this not happened?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't think so. I think I would have, but I think this forced me to do it even sooner. And I'm grateful for it. Because what happens is, under pressure, beauty with ashes, right? Under pressure and under fire, beautiful things happen under fire. Right. So with me being under fire, I'm learning more how to be more creative. I'm tapping into everything. What do? We're creatures of habit. We do things that are easier. So now I'm tapping into Zoom. How can I use this for my benefit, for even my own personal goals? I'm tapping into all of those things. I'm more active on social media, which is great. As we can see what's happening around the world. I know this is a social media conversation, but the things that are happening around the world, we're more plugged into because of social media. Social media has become our pipeline because of the millennials. They don't watch TV as often. So what's happening is social media, even our president is using social media to get his messages across. Often we're finding news is being transmitted on social media faster than the networks. So what happens is, us as publicists and brand experts, we're getting that information right away. I mean, I found out about Andre Harrell via social. Our phones are with us. We don't go anywhere without our phones. We're checking our phone. Look, my phone is right here. It shouldn't be, but it's right here next to me while I'm doing this panel. So what happens is, look at you. I'm seeing we're all looking down because we're tapped in. You guys gotta admit it. You're tapped in because your phone is right here. So what happens is, our social media is here. So God is forcing us to level up. Even if we don't want to, we have to now if we want to survive. We eat what we kill. And that means that if we are not current and we are not staying up with the trends, we will not make it. I'm just so impressed. Like I said, I know I keep mentioning my daughter, but these young people are on it. They're on top of the latest technologies. And if you're not on it, you will not survive.
That's right. Thank you.
Facts.
So let me, so going into that, so that there's a rise in the Instagram look, right? And most people need to beat their face to actually, go online. What do you guys think about that? Like, what do you think about that whole imagery part in regards to the social media and how it affects our women and people as they engulf in their business? So what are your thoughts on that? Let's start with Lynn.
With regards to social media, I think that or just in general, we're just living in a very vain society. Mm-hmm. Everything is about looks. That's the first impression nowadays. So now, compounded upon models and influencers and celebrities, it may cause some pressure with some up and coming entrepreneurs, influencers, reality stars, etc. But you have to be very strong, and that's when God comes into play. That's where discipline comes into play, where you say, you know what, let me turn this off for a minute. Let me take a break from this for a minute. And it forces you to self-love is very important too. You have to have a lot of self-love before you venture out into social media. You know, you have to be headstrong. There are a lot of kids out here wanting to take their life because they're comparing themselves to the things that they see on social media. So it's very important that that you first love yourself, because yeah, we live in a very vain society. People have their own measuring sticks for how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to talk, walk, etc. But you have to ground yourself first.
Great. Well,
Great point. And to add into that, I think this time, the time we're in now with, you know, hair salons being closed, nail salons have been closed for a long time. It made us reset in those kind of ways. I know personally, I had to be resourceful and be like, okay, no relaxer, because I did have a relaxer. Now I'm like half natural, half relaxer. And someone had asked me like, how was I feeling about everything? And we were talking about like from a beauty standpoint. And I said, I had to take the opportunity to like I love myself, but love myself naturally, you know? And so now on social media, you see people with less hair added or less of a beat face, because you have to use what you know how to do, not what you can go get done for you. So I think it's helped. And hopefully as we come out of this time, we will see less of what it has to look like. You know, we'll see a diverse set of, you'll have some people made up, like running right back to get their face beat, or you'll have some people being like, no, I'm beautiful as I am, and this is my brand. And I'm still smart. I still have this business to promote and push, and it doesn't really matter how much makeup I have on or not.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
with you guys too on that. I mean, so one more question, and then I will go into maybe like some reflection. So my last question to you guys is more so on the whole net part. Like, how do we gain revenue while we're actually trying to get into this whole new normal with social media and using social media as a platform to build a business? Like, so what are some suggestions on how we grow ourselves? That return on investment part.
Okay, well, how I kind of conduct my business now, I was kind of starting to do it even before the pandemic, you know, like my other co-panelists were stating, we were already moving into this wave of just strictly working off of social media. The simplest way to keep busy on social media, if you have clients, is if there's a brand, they turn in a wish list to me of about 10 companies or brands that they would like to work with. And just common sense, I just DM those brands and say, hey, I represent so-and-so. This is what this person is about. They connect with your brand. Is there any synergy there? And I just slide in the DMs and I get the business done, you know? So now all of my business are kind of PR placement, social media deals. I have one young lady, Ashley Nicole. She's based out of Miami, and she just closed a huge deal with Savage Fenty by Rihanna, which is the lingerie line, and she's just being paid to basically post the brand, and then that's how I make my money, you know? So you have to be very creative. Just use common sense. I know common sense is not common anymore, but just start with the baby steps, because the thing about this day and age is that it doesn't cost you anything. You have a phone. Right. So the world is your oyster. You can reach out to anyone, anybody, everybody's accessible now. And trust me, even celebrities, they're checking their DMs. We're all in the house. We're all bored outside of work too, trust me.
Okay, so what I got from it is, so Sondra, you said you be your own self, know that you're beautiful on purpose, and that's it. And that alone is a brand in itself. When you wake up and you realize that God made us all uniquely different and different in our own right. Lynn, you said like basically the new norm is social media. So you navigate through that and you find ways to make it happen. Alvina, you said, look, this is what it is. We're making it happen. And you, so somebody asked real quick, how do you determine a budget for a publicist? So I just wanted to.
How do you determine a budget for a publicist? Depends on who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Are you promoting a person, a place, or a thing? And once you determine that it's a person, place, or thing, then you can kind of narrow it down a little bit more. And then right now I just compare, like, what did I charge the previous client that's similar to this, you know, and what makes them a little different, and see if there are any other additional things that need to be added on.
Okay. So I think we had another question. It went off really quick. It was about how do you clean up your online image? Couldn't really get it. Did you see it, Sondra?
Yes. How do you clean up your online image? There are some vendors, but how do you determine what's legitimate? So as far as like reputation management, if you have some bad things out there online, I think that's what the question is asking. How do you really clean that up? Is there a way?
I personally had negative things online about myself. And one thing, a model that my parents instilled into me was to just do the work. Don't acknowledge, especially if it's not true. Don't acknowledge it. Just do the work. Outwork the lie. Outlive the lie, outwork the lie. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be my work that speaks for itself. So if you can't afford a service, I could afford a service to go and get it removed. But hey, no, that's my scar. That's my internet scar. And I'm going to keep it there. You understand? Because I've gone way past that. So it just depends. My motto is just to outwork the lie.
I would agree. Do you have to add to that?
AISHA said, what about Facebook, Instagram?
So,
Myself or Ashley? Myself? Okay. What I would say is I second what Lynn had to say. Amen. I mean, you know, outwork the lie. And remember, God will always make room for your gift. Someone will always have something to say. It doesn't matter. And when they're not talking about you, then honey, you know what? You made it when they start talking about you. You have to be strong and just go forward and know that you are enough. And once you set in your mind that you are enough and that God qualified you, and I tell people, like, I was a TV reporter for many years. I was a producer. I didn't know publicity. You know, my first client in publicity was because I was helping an NFL star. Like, you know, I tell people I didn't know end zone from auto zone. But guess what? God qualified me. And God said, you are enough. And once I got into my mind that I knew that I was enough, we're all works in progress. There's something that we can learn every day. And you know what else? We have to lean on each other and support each other. I'm a big fan of Lynn Hobson. She gets down. I'm a big fan of yours, Sondra. I know all about you. And Alexis. I mean, we have to support and you know what, lean on each other when times get tough. You know, and it's especially hard because especially in our community, we all know that we don't help each other like we should. So, you know, the world's events are showing that we need to unite. So with that being said, when things are done on social media, that's become our outline. We have to pour it in with more positivity, being ourselves, being genuine, being transparent, and not being ashamed of who you are. When you start feeling ashamed and you start trying to mask what others say, true or not, don't worry about what they say. You know, the lion does not care about the chatter of ants in the jungle. We all know that already. You know, you see how lions walk, and we're all lions in this, and we're all going to lean on each other, and we're all works in progress. And you guess what? And it's also enough for all of us to eat out here. That's what people don't realize. Just because you're doing one thing, it's still enough for you to eat and somebody else to do the same thing. It should be no competition. We are all learning and growing. What I'm good at, you may not be good at. So we have to lean on each other and say, hey, I need help. Because guess what? If I don't know it, I'm going to call somebody. And guess what? God will bless you because of your humility and who you are. And your cup will always stay full.
I wanted to add to what Lynn Hobson said. I was late to the call because I had a personal emergency. I contacted you all. That's why my video is not up, because I'm kind of in a position right now that you can't show. But I wanted to add to what was being said. I wanted to back up what Lynn Hobson said. I personally have had bad press. I've been in bad situations, and a lot of it was lies. But at the end of the day, I was taught by my father that you let the good outweigh the bad. You outwork the lie, like Lynn said. You make sure that you do outwork whatever they're spewing, whatever negativity was posted, whatever they're writing. Make sure you're doing more work, more positivity, so that they can write more. write positive things about you and write the truth about you. So those negative stories, the more you Google yourself, the more you Google your brand, the more you Google your client, that story is further down and the positivity is further up. So if you stay relevant with your positivity and your work, then it will outweigh whatever obstacles came into your path, because no one's journey is perfect. Everyone will have an obstacle, but it's up to you to keep going, go towards your finish line so that you can accomplish whatever you came into this game trying to do, instead of being distracted and knocked out by the negativity.
Yes, yeah.
Alexis, I don't know if you saw the question on how to build a brand. Where does someone start?
Right. Yeah, I thought you was gonna answer. I seen it and then it went on quick. So I think that was from Miss Linda Baraka, right? So what I guess Ashley, such an honor to have you on. We love you, Ashley. We love you. Can you actually answer that question for us?
Yes, to build your brand.
Yes.
To build your brand. So basically, I do Reverend Sharpton social media all over on all his platforms. And basically, with building a brand, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with whatever your logo is, whatever your message is. You have to beat it. You have to beat it on top of the head over and over and over again so that people understand. So with Reverend Sharpton, his brand is social justice, equality, against violence. It's in nonviolence form. So make sure that none of that is on his timeline. None of that is nothing that can be used against his brand is on his timeline. So when you're building your brand from the ground up, whatever the name of your brand is, whatever your logo is, make sure that it is clear on all of your platforms. Make sure that your message, whatever your logo is, whatever your motto is, or whatever your purpose is clear. Walmart has a stamp, and we know that without even seeing Walmart's name, you know it's stamped. You know that same for Target. It's because it's been seen constantly over and over again through massive media. Sometimes we don't have that budget. That's of course on a grand scale. But if you're starting from scratch, I have my own entertainment company called Sharpton Entertainment. We started in the streets in Harlem 10 years ago without a brand, honestly, and we basically didn't have any kind of imprint online until we started building a YouTube page. Then you start building your hashtags on your social media platforms. Then you start getting, you can also use affiliates. So you can use popular people. Like if you have different clients or different personnel. Sorry. Hello? Oh.
Yeah,
if you have different clients or different personnel that have a bigger audience than you, partner with them with your brand and let them push your brand out there so that more people are seeing, more visibility is seen for you. Also, if you have huge partnerships, partner with other organizations, partner with other groups that have similar interests as yours. If it's in beauty, if it's in health, if it's in fitness, whatever, partner with them and make sure that you're getting your brand out there. I know we're in COVID right now, but right now, like these virtual town halls, just make sure you're out there, make sure you're getting your brand out there, and make sure you're getting your imprint out there. It's very important.
Okay. Sondra, there was a couple of questions that went past me. Can you actually kind of like ask to? I know we're going into
Absolutely. So one, to go with how to start a brand, one was, what about LinkedIn versus Facebook versus Instagram? Like, which one is best?
I think all of them together.
Yeah,
all of them work in tandem. But people have to remember, LinkedIn is not Facebook.
No.
You are not putting your boyfriend, your social, your relationship status on LinkedIn. That is not, because you have top tier corporations on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And what happens is people get confused with all three. You have to know what each one is expecting and what you should do on each one, because it will hurt you severely. And that's what LinkedIn is not for you gossiping and talking about anyone. And you shouldn't be doing that anyway. But what happens is corporations are looking to hire people. You have people that are on LinkedIn that are not on the other outlets. They're on LinkedIn only. They're not on Instagram and Facebook. So you should use LinkedIn as your resume. How do people look at you in a professional setting? And that's what you should do. The same with Instagram. Even though it's pictures, you want to be careful on what picture you're showing. Because I've had clients that are fighting, before they sign with me because of images that they may have posted on Twitter or someone else has posted that they're trying to get down, that's affecting their brand. So remember, consistency is key. If you don't want your mama to see it, then you shouldn't do it. Don't do it at all. Represent yourself and represent what you want the world to see. Just like I love what Sondra said. about her mother. And it's so, so, so true. So we just have to be cognizant of who we are and what we want the world to see, because your 20-year-old self won't be your 40-year-old self. Remember that. So don't do things that are going to hurt you and stop you from collecting that bag. Let's be real. Don't do anything to stop that. We have enough obstacles that are hurting us right now. Don't put the bullets in your own gun and hurt yourself with it. Don't be your own ammunition. You know, walk in your power, walk in who you want to be. Like, you know, like they say, fake it till you make it. You don't have to fake it. Walk into your power. You are Oprah right now. You are Jay-Z right now. You are presidential right now. You are a mayor right now. You are who you want to be right now. Remember that.
Alvina, so that goes into one of the questions that had been asked earlier, but we didn't say it audibly. Do you have any advice for young women looking to get involved with PR or becoming a publicist? It would be great to hear from everybody.
Sure. You want to answer that, Lynn, first, or do you want to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do it. For those young ladies who are interested in getting into public relations, the first thing I would suggest that you do is to read. I got into, excuse me, I got into public relations because I read a book called The Personal Touch, Everything You Need to Succeed in Today's Fast-Paced Business World. That book was written by Terry Williams. She is a PR guru. At the time, we didn't have social media. I wrote her a letter, sent it through snail mail, and begged her for an opportunity and got it. And the rest is history. So reading is fundamental. Studying the craft. YouTube, oh my gosh, you can learn so much from YouTube. I've learned so much from YouTube. I've learned social media marketing from YouTube. I now offer that service. You know what I mean? So research, do your own research. And then there are different types of publicists. You know, Sondra is with the mayor. Alvina is with sports and entertainment. I'm with, you know, authors and entertainment. You might have a financial publicist, you know, so determine what your niche should be as well. And then enlist them, go and get a mentor, reach out to someone, ask them, you know, could they mentor you, you know? Hospital publicist, right? Somebody said hospital publicist.
You know, my advice was, because I came into it the unconventional way, you know, as a reporter for many years and journalist. What happens is sometimes you're forced in, you know, professions, but I love what Lynn said. Research, education is key. Knowledge is wisdom. So you want to learn about what you're doing first. And if you don't know it, you live in an age where you can Google it. We didn't have those resources. Also, what I want to say most importantly is getting accustomed to not having fear. I think with all of us here on this panel, fear is the number one factor with so many people that want to do something, but they let fear get in the way. I would say remove the fear. Write down. You know, they've said the most successful people write everything down. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, he writes everything down. If it's not written down, he doesn't do it. So for you, write down what your goals are and go after each goal. Start small. Spend an hour each day going after your goal. For instance, if you wanna, you can reach out to me. Don't be afraid to reach out to who you aspire to be like. That's why we are here to give back. Reach out to people, myself, Sondra, Lynn, Alexis, you know, Ashley. Reach out. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I would love to meet with you. Do you have any advice for me? And those people, those go-getters are the ones that you see that prosper. Get rid of that fear. In the Bible, it says have no fear 365 times. And that's not by coincidence. That's one for every day of the year. So just getting out of your own way, going after it and say, I can do it. And also being comfortable with yourself, because sometimes we put ourselves down. You have to be your own cheerleader. It's not easy. Sondra and Lynn could attest to what we do. People think it's all glitz glimmer. It is not. It's very, very, very stressful, but anything worth having is stressful. No risk, no rewards. Also, with that being said, we have to be strong in what we do. We have to be strong, we have to walk in our power, and we have to be confident. Confidence is key in being a publicist. If you don't cheer yourself on, how can you cheer on your clients? Learn that you are your biggest cheerleader. And when you get up in the morning and say, come on, enemy, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for this day. And there's nothing that you can't do. And you have to believe that as publicists. You have to walk in that power. You have to own that, own what you're doing, and be confident.
Ashley, do you have anything to add? And then afterwards, if everyone could share what their contact information is, if you're comfortable, but definitely your social media handles.
Yes, I will also add to what was said prior to me, that internships. Rachel Norlinger is my father's publicist. She interned with Terry Williams and ended up working with John Cochran and Al Sharpton and all of her great clients. But she learned, she was an intern for Terry Williams. So internships are very, very important. Like Lynn said, find a mentor, help them, learn their ways, learn how to help them, and that'll be the easy route, not an easy route, but a great route of learning the ropes from someone who already is in the game. So that's my advice, is to find an internship or find a mentor in your lane. And my information, how you can find me is nationalactionnetwork.net, or you can email me at ashleygSharpton@gmail.com.
Did everyone get that? Can you repeat it?
Sorry, nationalactionnetwork.net is the website. And my email is ashleygSharpton@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about you, Lynn? What's your contact?
My contact information is lynnhobson.com, LYNNHOBSON, lynnhobson.com. And on all social media, it's Lynn Hobson.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Lavina, how about you?
Alvina.
Or my social media is, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and at More, MORE, Media, MEDIA, Hits, HITS, and I'll explain that. More, everyone wants more TV, more press, so that's MO with one O, MORE, Media, MEDIA, Hits, HITS, which is a TV interview or a media interview, at gmail.com, more media hits at gmail.com, or on Instagram and Facebook, more media hits, or on Facebook, Alvina Austin is my name, ALSTON last name. Thank you.
So real quick, I wanted to shout out a young lady in New York. Her name is Tashima. She had a question, but we really answered the question, how to teach young people to stay focused. So I wanted to, before we end that, I also wanted you guys to at least share really briefly what you're most proud about, your image and how it reflects you online. Before we end out, I just wanted, because you have a lot of young people who signed on, and I just wanted you just to give them some words of encouragement as they move forward. And again, we are streaming, like, not just in the state of New Jersey, but in New York as well. And as we're speaking, you guys see me looking down, it's because people are hitting me up saying this is very powerful. So thank you so much. To Shashima, thank you for signing on in New York. And basically how to stay focused. That's her question. And I think, how old is she? 22 years old with autism. So she want to know how can she stay focused, and just give her a little bit of insight right now as she watch.
Okay. Well, how I stay focused is for the past 20 years. When I wake up in the morning, I open my eyes, the first thing I say is, I am filled with joy. My heart is filled with joy. I grab my Bible. You don't have to be, Christian or religious, whatever you choose to grab, but go to God, open the day with God. I read Psalms 20, 23, 40, 47, 91, 121, 123, 147, and 150, and then I go to my notebook. You know how Alvina said, Warren Buffett, he writes everything down. I write everything down. If you open my notebook, it tells you who I am, whose I am, and what I'm going to accomplish on this earth. So I would say consistency is important. So that's how you start your day. Be consistent. Create a schedule for yourself. Like in this pandemic, I make sure I walk 1.5 miles a day after I pray. And that's very important. Exercise, eating, exercise, prayer. Incorporate that into a schedule, and then everything else will fall into place.
Thank you.
You're
Alvina?
welcome.
Alvina?
I just want to say before I go that I want everyone that's watching, you look at all of us and you say, oh my God, they're all so accomplished. I feel so inadequate. I want you all to know that Newark is near and dear to my heart because I didn't grow up in Newark, but I spent a lot of time there, over a decade.
I think something
You
happened.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we see you.
Okay.
I see you.
The enemy didn't want me to tell y'all what I was about to tell y'all. But I want to just tell everybody that's watching that, you know what, you look at all of us and we all seem accomplished. And I want to be transparent really quickly about my life. I grew up my mom was a single mother. She had 3 daughters and my mom was my role model. She persevered. I was a single mother. So whoever is looking and say, I can't be like that. I was a single mother raising a daughter. I was evicted many times. I had triplets. They all died within 7 months. And when I had those triplets, they told me I was HIV positive, but that was a lie. My sister was, on drugs, and another sister died of AIDS. Sorry, see, the enemy don't want y'all to hear this. See, y'all, like I was telling y'all, the enemy didn't want y'all to hear this advice that I'm about to tell y'all, because my power keeps going out. But this is just to inspire other people. But like I was saying, my father was found dead in the house. 1 died of AIDS. 1 is still in prison, and 1 is still walking around Philadelphia somewhere strung out on drugs. I say all this to say that it doesn't matter. Your background doesn't qualify where you're going. So don't look at what you went through before. Don't let anybody shame you about your past. You are just as great as all of us here. All these women I admire. I mean, look at Sondra. I'm talking to her. Look at Lynn, who is just a legend in this game. And Alexis, everything she's overcome, and even Ashley. So I'm just so excited and so blessed to be a part of this. And I just want to thank you and give you all inspiration and hope to let you know that just like what we're doing, you could do too, because God qualified you. Stay in prayer. Stay in prayer and ask God, because he gives us what we ask for. Yeah. None of us are too good for anybody. We are all works in progress, and you can overcome and you can do it. Now I'm a mom of 3. I'm a homeowner, and there's so many other things that I've overcome. You can too. Don't be ashamed of your past. Just go for it. You can do it. And I'm blessed to be a part of this whole thing. And I want to thank the city of Newark for empowering people who are just like me to persevere. And you can do it too. I'm not greater than you are. Just keep going. Persistence overcomes resistance, and consistency, being consistent.
Right.
I want to say amen after that.
Amen.
I'll jump in and add to that just because it's on my heart right now. But I just wanted to say, as what you both said, keep God first. Also speak positive things into your own life. Drown out the negative by speaking positive into yourself. Do your research everything in conjunction with what Lynn said, as far as read everything, research everything. The internet is a powerful tool. It's bringing us together right now while we may be in a house by ourselves or in an office somewhere by ourselves or whatever. So just know the power that we have, and support one another is very important. And if it's not on a professional level that you have someone to support, more so important, make sure you have your own personal tribe. It's important. A lot of times people will say, oh, I don't get along well with women, or that's a challenge, or that's just not my thing. Like, make that your thing, because if you have a powerful tribe, your reach is just even extended even more. So I definitely stand on the backs of a whole crew of amazing women.
Well, I'll echo everyone. The way I stay focused, of course, is I keep God first. He is my anchor in all that I do. A lot of people assume things about me because of my name or my parents or whatnot, but I've gone through my own trials and tribulations in my own life. And what helped to keep me focused was being true to myself, authenticity, and also discipline. Discipline is very important to success. And if you don't train yourself to be disciplined, you can easily lose opportunities and lose out on a lot that God has for you. But also being true to yourself and following your heart and your desires. Nobody knows what you have but you. Nobody knows what you're qualified, your qualifications, your gifts, even your dark side. No one knows them but you. So embrace yourself fully. Embrace yourself fully and love yourself fully in full capacity. And then you can embrace your calling. when you run from your calling, that's when things get dark. But if you embrace your calling, it'll help you to stay focused in that calling and to go into that journey and live in it. That's what I've personally experienced to answer my calling. And once I decided to start running from it, everything started to fall into place.
You guys are so amazing. So I just wanted to chime in and add my part. I wanted to say that, you know, that off of Sondra, you are correctly honest that you have to have a tribe. And for me, you have to get out your own way and stand in your own truth and understand that when you need help, you have to ask for it. And that's how you stay focused. My tribe, the mayor has aligned me with some amazing women like AISHA Glover and Stacey Hillsman, just to name it, as my advisors to make me to keep pushing. You know, like, I don't know where I would be today if I didn't have them people let me know that I'm more than enough. Even with Alvina, you know, sitting in Kings and expressing to me, Lexus, your power is within you. And I will never, ever forget that. And so with that being focused that's the key. I mean, getting yourself with a team of people who believe in you and then believing in yourself and staying true to that. I mean, I know we're talking about net and net worth, but all of that embodies everything that you're doing when you think about branding yourself and becoming your own business and standing in that light of your business. So I want to say, first and foremost, on behalf of the mayor, thank you so much for allowing us this platform and these beautiful women, Ms. Baraka and all of us, to come together. I mean, to share with other women, you know, how great we can be and how powerful we are together. How powerful we are together. So, you guys, when you want to end and say anything else, Sondra?
I actually want to just give my contact information if anybody has any questions. I too started out by reaching out to Terry Williams when I first moved to New Jersey in 1998. No, 97 I moved here, and I had seen her speak at a conference that I was a delegate at, and she had a book signing for The Personal Touch. And I asked her, can you be my mentor? And I remember the funny thing is I spelled her, it was a paper letter, you know, that I snail mail, and I spelled her name wrong.
Oh my gosh, I know she sent it back.
No, I sent, before it even got to her, like I had sent it out and I sent a new one right after that and was just like, I spelled your name wrong, but this is the correct one you should have gotten. So to this day, we stay in touch. She sends me cards like when I make different motions in my life. So just the connection right there between the few of us is amazing. But I wanted to give my contact information. Someone asked about keeping things private and public. So my social media is private, but it's Sondra Denise, SONDRADENISE. So I welcome all the women in this space. And my email address is Roberts, ROBERTS with an extra S at the end. So it's Robert with 2 S's at ci.newark.nj.us. So if anyone has any questions about, communications advice, anything that any of us spoke of, if you need to reach someone else, of course you can reach out to First Lady and AISHA Glover and Alexis, but I'm happy to be a voice and help you be a resource as well. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Another inspiring panel. I feel like there is a theme for the day. Like, no matter what the topic is, it really is always coming back to your worth, your purpose, what drives you. So really appreciate, honestly, the testimony and you guys finding time in your day to carve out and share your stories and share best practices and share what you know. You are only as good and you are only worth as much as what you pay forward. So each of you have really taken that to heart and use that in your daily actions and in your work. So really, really appreciate all of your time. Thank you for joining us. Hope that you stick around for the rest of the day. We have more panels coming up. We have one specifically on womb wellness that is starting in like 3 minutes. So again, just want to thank you all for participating. Those of you that have been with us since 9 a.m. Really appreciate the spending the day with you. So give us a couple of minutes as we transition to our next panel.